Hey guys, welcome to my latest video. I decided to put together a Bloodsucker build just because I don't have one in any of my loadouts. I haven't been able to find a good Bloodsucker chest, either Gila or Fenris, until a few days ago I found one which I think should be feasible to use. So let me just show you. If I shoot a bit, I shoot the targets a bit. I put it on named just because they have a lot of armor. You can see the spark is active. For to me the target is to get to 500 quickly, because the quicker I can get to it, the quicker I can put someone down, because of these guys all running 400 odd, 500 odd thousand armor. So I'm just trying to see how quick I can get to that level, above 500 with one clip. So that's what I was aiming for. Let me just show you the build real quick. I'm using the custom P416 for no particular reason, only because there's 23.2 damage on this build and 825 RPM. Preservation, I'm using preservation because I want armor with this build, right? So Bloodsucker, more armor, so that's why I'm using the one with preservation. I put the Ligro on there. On this one I must do that. I must put this thing on back on, because I can't use the laser point on this one because I'm running survivalist. Let me just see. I'll put the reload speed on. Okay. My secondary is Merciless for the obvious reason to activate spark with the holster talent, just so I can get spark going, get some extra damage. So the attachments really don't matter. I don't use the weapon for firing. The survivalist D50 I'm using for transmission there at the bottom, to transfer the shock to someone else. Don't actually use the weapon. I mean, who does? I'm using the mask, which is a Yargear Hollow Man with 30,215 health and 5% crit chance, perfectly insulated, and the 10% hazard protection from the Yargear, so that gives me 60% alone on the mask. For my chest I'm using a Fenris with 20,000 armor, 6% crit damage, and there was 400 odd skill power on here, which I replaced with weapon damage, because the quicker you get the armor off, the better with Bloodsucker, right? I mean, for me, to my point of view, it's pointless having, or to me from my perspective, if I have like 500,000 armor but I can't take anybody's armor off quick enough to actually sustain myself. That's why I went with weapon damage instead of total armor. That's my base my decision on there. My vital, my Bloodsucker, and there I have my assault rifle mod, which I should actually change out to a 5% one. I should actually do that. Okay, I'll do that later. That's yeah. So there's a 5%. I have 5% assault rifle mod I should put on there. I'm using 2 Patriot, as you might have noticed. My first one is a holster as usual. 40,644 health, 3% health. At 3% doesn't actually do anything, but it's the best 2 Patriot I have. This one is what I use on my crit build, so I don't want to mess around with that. And they have my 2 assault rifles. I have 3 of those 5% ones, so the other one belongs on my chest. But I think I have it on my glove, so I'll just leave it there. I'm using the 2-piece Gila for the 5% total armor and for the 20% extra hazard protection. This one has 11% total armor. I missed out on a 30% total armor the other day. As insulated. That insulated here brings my total hazard protection to 100%, making me immune to fire, poison, blah blah blah. I have my 2 explosive resistance defensive mods there, each with 4% total armor, bringing it to a total of plus 8% total, with that 11%. So it brings me to 19% total armor so far. 2 Patriot fills out my second piece for my 10% total armor. 12% assault rifle. I don't have 13%, otherwise I would use it. There's my other blue mod, is a 10,367 health, and there's my other 5% mod, which I don't have on my chest, so I'll just leave the one on my chest as is. My second piece Gila has spark on it, 8.5% total armor. I'm using this one because it has spark, it has hardened, and it has weapon damage. My other chest, I mean, they don't have all of that stuff. I mean, that has hazard protection, spark, but there's no total armor there, there's no weapon damage on there. So that's why I'm using this one. 10.5 weapon damage, 13,000 health, spark, which is activated by the holster talent of the Merciless, and 15% additional armor with hardened. And I have my reload with my utility. I always put the reload speed on there. If I'm not running spotter, then I just use the 6% reload speed, because anything else won't actually matter. And I'm using the 3% explosive resistance and 4% total armor, which brings my armor to 341 and my health to 156. If you add them together, it should be enough. If you do the math, it should be enough to keep me alive for a bit. Let me just go through the stats. PvP weapon damage 15, 949. It is higher on some of my other builds, but for example, my rifle build, that one is a lot higher. It's like 70,000 or something. Crit chance is not a crit build, so I'm just happy to have any crit here. I wasn't going for crit at all. All weapon damage 30.5, assault rifle 56, Bloodsucker perfectly insulated. Just go down here. Health regeneration, protection from elites from survivalists, explosive resistance from those blue mods 10%, not much but better than nothing. Pulse resistance 50%. This actually could be a lot better if I change switches over to technician. I can have 100% here. Like on my rifle board, I have 100% pulse resistance, and I have a bit more explosive resistance on there. Some resistance to all that stuff. And yeah, that's the build. Oh, the skills I'm using. The only reason I'm using the Seeker is for the explosive to actually trigger, to also trigger spark if my Merciless doesn't do it. I won't get much damage on it. Doesn't matter because the cooldown is too high in the DZ anyway. Yeah, I'm using the Restorer Hive because I prefer using the Mender, but I can't use it and the Seekers at the same time, obviously. So that's why I'm using the Restorer Hive. I couldn't think of anything else to use. Like I said, guys, this is not actually the best Bloodsucker out there. There are guys that are running like for 500k armor on it with like maybe 50,000 health, 60,000 health. So there are better ways to do it. This is my combination of what RNG has given me. I'm hoping this video helps somebody out that also wants to make a Bloodsucker. This is actually a good skeleton. I could improve it a lot if I get higher armor rolls, which is what I'm looking for. If I can have here maybe a 13% total armor, if I can have a if I can have the exact same chest with a 20% total armor maybe, or a 20% armor roll and not health, and I can roll the weapon damage on there with spark and hardened. I'm just giving you guys my shopping list, but it would actually be a hell of a lot better. Then I could easily break the 400k mark, maybe even reach 500k if I get another Feminist maybe with not crit damage, but maybe a total armor roll and Bloodsucker and that vital that I can roll 60% weapon damage on. That's even better. So there are many options now. I don't know where the saying comes from, but there is no diversity. I mean, there is diversity in building in many of the combinations that you can do, but with Division 2 I'm just juggling Need for Speed Heat. I'm also playing Spider-Man when I'm not playing this. I still owe you guys gameplay from the rifle build and from this one as well now, from the Bloodsucker, but I don't want to show you PvE because we all know how that goes. I mean, you just equip whatever you go. You can just go toe to toe with the NPCs. I'm actually looking to fight players, but every time I go into the dark zone the last few days, it's either shit show with invisible walls, or I get deltas as soon as I go in there. So I'm hoping with TU 6.1 that drops tomorrow that they will fix those invisible walls and all the deltas, or the technical issues of the DZ. I mean, I didn't even mind sorry, the whole blowback thing. I mean, I have a hazard protection board with 60% explosive resistance, so if need be I could use it. So you can still counter everything. I mean, but I guess they had to be nerfed because you couldn't see the grenade coming. You would just see the new, especially on clutch. It was the worst for a clutch user. I mean, I still have my clutch bolt. I use it from time to time, but I'm hoping they'll fix the technical issues in the DZ. You know, it will be much easier for me to get guys gameplay because it's been hectic the last 2 weeks in the DZ. just going in there, you don't know, with all these technical problems, you can't run. You maybe want to take cover behind a car or take cover to pop a heel, but there will be an invisible wall stopping you, so then you might die for not because of your ability, but because the game won't let you. Anyway, thanks guys, thanks for the new subscribers that might be watching this. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Cheers. Thanks. Cool. Adios amigos.